Hello Preeters. Today I'm going to show you how you can create this simple 3D opening scene in After Effects. In this tutorial, I will show you the techniques of how you can create simple 3D camera movement. So let's stick to the end because I'll explain everything in step by step. Let's get started.
Okay, are you guys ready? I'm gonna import all the pictures into the After Effects. Let's create a new folder. And I'm gonna place it in new folder just like this. Now it's time to create a new composition, 9020 by 180. And 25 frame rate. Duration must be 40 seconds. And hit OK. Let's import all the images into the composition. Move the sky layer below. And hand layer must be under the grass. Select all the layers and turn it to 3D. Now I'm gonna switch to 2-view mode. And select all the layers and move the Z position. Move it a little bit, okay. This is the sky layer position. I'm gonna move the factory layer. Move to the Z position a little bit, just like this. Okay. Move it a little bit. Press the grass layer and move it forward, just like this. Select the hand layer and move it. Select all the 3 layers and move it forward. Move around here, okay. And I'm gonna switch back to 1-view mode. Now it's time to scale all the layers. Press the sky layer and press S to scale it. Scale it just like this. And scale the grass layer. Scale it a little bit. And move it down below. Move it a little bit, just like this. Okay. Select both factory layers and scale it for value for 250. And move the Ace position just like this. And move this layer also. Move it just like this. And move it down below a little bit. Okay. Now I want to scale the hand layer. So I hide the 3 layers for a while. Select the hand layers and scale it a little bit. And I'm gonna type it in 200. 200, yeah, okay. I want to move the Z position, so I switch to view mode. I want to place it between them. Move it a little bit, okay. Switch back to 1-view mode. Now it's time to place the 3 layers. Move it just like this. Select it and move it. Select the layers and move it. I want them to place it like this. Select 3 layers and move it down below a little bit. I'm gonna scale all the layers for 200. Now select 3, 2 and 3 fold, and I want them to move it down a little bit. Switch back to 2D mode and move away from the camera. Move it a little bit. Okay. You're gonna place it in your desired position. Switch back to 1D mode and place it in your desired position. I move it like this. Move it just like this. Now it's time to animate the hand. So I'm gonna press P. I'm gonna keyframe the position. I'm gonna move it to 1 second and press the keyframe and move it to 0 second. And I'm gonna drag it like this. Drag the keyframe like this. Let's easy ease the keyframe. Select the keyframe and I'm gonna change it like this. Alright. I want to extend the keyframe, so I select the keyframe and press Alt 2. Drag it like this. Okay. You can drag the keyframe just like this. Now let's turn on the motion blur. Alright, this is smooth. Now let's create a new folder. I'm gonna import all the footage. Select all the footage and import it. Select the lightning strike one. Select the out point and in point here. I'm gonna place it in the composition. Move it to around 3 seconds. Okay, now I'm gonna key out the grain. Select the key light effect. At first, I'm gonna mask out the footage just like this. Now select the eyedropper tool and select the grain to key it out. I'm gonna switch to screen matte because I want to get rid of white area a little bit. Select the clip black and increase the value a little bit. Alright, I'm gonna change back to final reset. Now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna get rid of this white area. So I'm selecting the pen tool and mask just like this. Okay, switch to subtract and I'm gonna feather it a little bit. Feather around 85 is okay. Now it's time to turn on the 3D layers for this lightning strike. What I'm gonna do is I want to see where the hand is placed in, so I change the color of the hand to yellow. So I can see there is a yellow And I'm gonna move the lightning layer to move it just like this in front of the hand. Switch back to 1V mode. Okay. Move to the up for a little bit. Rotate it a little bit. Move it. And I'm gonna scale it for around 200. It's okay. Move to the Y position. Okay. And I'm gonna move the X position just like this. I don't want this white area, so I move it just like this. All right. Now it's time to add levels. Change to blue and move the slider to the right, just like this. Move it. Okay. So this is the lightning. Now I'm gonna extend the duration. Select the time stretch. And I'm gonna change it to 130. I'm gonna duplicate it by Ctrl D. You can duplicate it by pressing the Ctrl plus D. Move it a little bit and rotate it just like this. And move the layers just like this. And I'm gonna duplicate one more and rotate it a little bit. Alright, this is the lightning effect. Now it's time to add text. You can press Ctrl T to add the text. I'm gonna write it chapter 1. And I'm gonna change the font to MV Bully. Now select the layer and turn it to 3D. Move under the hand layer. Now switch back to 2V mode and move to the Z position just like this. Move to the Y position a little bit. Okay. Now it's time to animate the text. I'm gonna search for the typewriter effect. This is the typewriter effect. I want to ease the keyframe, so select the keyframe and open the graph editor and just like this. So this is the text animation effect. Now it's time to duplicate the layer. Ctrl D and move a little bit just like this. I'm gonna type it, building the empire. I'm gonna change the font to TW Sun. You can change it to your desired font. Select the layer and I'm gonna scale the value to 350. Move it down a little bit. Select chapter 1 and move it down a little bit. And I'm gonna move the keyframe to just like this. You can press U on the keyboard to see what kind of keyframe your layer has. Now it's time to input the clouds. Select the start point and select the end point around 10 seconds. Okay. Now it's time to input the clouds. Let's solo the layer and I'm gonna key it out. Select the grain to key it out. I'm gonna turn to 3D layers. Move it all the way back. And scale it just like this. Alright. Let's duplicate the clouds. And move it forward. Move close to the camera. Now let's add the tint effect. I'm gonna swap the colors. And I'm gonna change the color to green. Turn down the opacity, press the T, and turn down the opacity around 30. Yeah, I changed the value to 50. It's okay. It's up to you. Select both layers. I'm gonna extend the duration, just like this. And move it, the upper layer, for a little bit. Drag it just like this. Alright, now it's time to add a rain. Add a rain layer to the composition. Let's key it out the grain. You can add the CC rainfall effect, but I like this rain stock footage. Now turn on 3D and switch back to 2D mode. Let's place the rain layer under the clouds. Move it just like this. And I'm gonna scale it a little bit, around 140. Switch back to 1D mode. Now it's time to add a groundbreaking effect. Select the in point here and out point here. Let's input the groundbreaking effect. Input it under the hand layer. solo it, and let's add a key light effect. Turn the layers to 3D, and I'm gonna move it to the Z position under the hand. Move it down a little bit. I'm gonna switch back to one view mode. Drag the layer and move it a little bit. I'm gonna scale it to 120. I don't like it, so I move it a little bit. Okay, this is perfect. Now it's time to create a camera. I'm gonna add a camera about 50mm lens 2-node camera. And I'm gonna change the iris shape to hexagon. Now I'm gonna show you where the camera focus is. You can change the camera focus by focus distance. You can see the moving line. This is the camera focus. So I'm gonna move it to the hand layer. The hand layer is yellow layer. So the camera is now focused to the hand layer. Now I'm gonna create a knob and turn it to 3D. Because I want to link the camera to the knob. So I can animate the camera position by keyframe the knob. So move the timeline to 3 seconds. Press B and keyframe the position. And move the knob just like this. Move it to the Z position. And move it a little down by move to the Y position. This is how the camera moves. I'm gonna increase the aperture value around 1200. I want to keyframe the point of interest just like this. So I'm gonna press the point of interest and the focus distance. First the U. I'm gonna move it just like this. Move the point of interest value just like this. Now it's time to switch the focus distance to the hand. I'm gonna move it, just like this. Now it's focusing the hand. The camera is focusing the hand. Switch the keyframe. The camera is moving, but the focus distance is not moving. So I need to keyframe the focus distance, just like this. You can see the blur. Now it's time to move again. Switch the value to 3000. Still not focusing the hand, so I'm gonna move it a little bit. Alright. You can see camera is focusing the hand. Now I'm gonna switch back to one view mode. I'm gonna select the keyframe and move it a little bit. Now select both keyframe and copy it and paste it just like this. I'm gonna delete this keyframe. So the camera is moving just like this. And I want to change this a little bit just like this. Move it to the up. Alright, this is the basic camera animation. Now it's time to smooth the camera animation. But first, I'm gonna move the sky layer just like this, and also the cloud layers. And I'm gonna move the rain footage to the up. I'm gonna select the test layer and move to the Y position just a little bit, just like this. And I'm gonna turn off the clouds layer for a while. Let's scale it down a little bit for the test. Move it a little bit, okay. I want to change the test color to the red just for a while because I want to add the glow. I'm gonna increase the glow radius and the glow intensity to 5. Let's increase a little bit, okay. Now I'm gonna copy this effect and paste it to the another test layers. Let's add drop shadow effect. increase the opacity value around 70. And the distance must be 15. Turn on the softness just like this. Select the effect and copy and paste it to the another test layer. Now I'm gonna change back the color to yellow. This looks good. Now it's time to easy ease the camera animation. Select the point of interest and I'm gonna easy ease just like this. Let's select the keyframe and move it a little bit just like this. Select all the keyframe and press Alt to drag it just like this. Now I'm gonna select focus distance keyframe and press F9 to easy ease this. Select all the lightning strike layer and move it to the duration around 7 seconds. I'm gonna extend the duration for 200. I think this is too much, so I delete the one lightning strike. Alright, this is cool. I want to change the camera animation back to this. So it looks like this. Let's move the test animation. Move it forward a little bit. I'm gonna extend it groundbreaking effect a little bit. Okay. I'm gonna move the cloud layers to the up a little bit. Turn back the clouds layer. And I want to change the color to this pinky look. This is the basic thing we need, so I love the result. Now it's time to animate the tree. I'm gonna move the Z rotation just like this, so I'm gonna add an expression, a wiggle expression. You can press Alt, click and type the wiggle 3,6 just like this. So the tree is moving just like this. But I think it's too much, so I'm gonna decrease the value. around 0.4. So the tree is moving gently, just like this. I'm going to decrease a little bit, 0.2. Okay. So the tree is moving just like this. I'm going to copy the wiggle expression and paste it all the 3 layers. Paste it just like this. So all the tree is moving. Now it's time to animate the hand. I don't want the hand to move steady. And so I add the puppet pen tool, add the marker just like this. And then I'm gonna move the timeline a little bit and drag it and move it, the hand, just like this. This is the easiest way to animate the 2D images for one direction. Select all the layers and press Ctrl C and paste it, Ctrl V, just like this. So you can see the hand is moving a little bit, just like this. I want to extend keyframe more, so I select all the keyframe and copy and paste it. Select all and press F9 to easy ease. So the hand is moving. A little bit much, so I'm gonna remove some keyframe. Delete the keyframe, just like this. Now it's time to rotate the hand a little bit, so I create new null layer, null object, and turn it to 3D. And move the null layer under the amp, just like this, and name it hand. I'm gonna link the hand layer to the null. I'm gonna rotate the Z position just like this, so the hand is moving a little bit. I'm gonna add a wiggle expression. I don't animate the keyframe, I just add the wiggle expression just like this. Wiggle around 0.9, 3. So the hand is moving from the ground just like this. I'm gonna decrease a little bit, 0.9, 1.8. Let's see. Okay, the hand is moving like this. It's very good. Okay, I love it. Now it's time to animate the factory layers. I'm gonna press P and keyframe the position. Move it down, move it down, move it down. I want them to pop from the ground. Select the keyframe and easy ease just like this. and 10 on the motion blur. So the factories are moving to the up just like the hands. Now move it a little bit. This is gonna take a while because you can change your desired position. Select this and move it a little bit. And I want to create a new null layer and link the factory to the null because I want to scale the factory layers a little bit. Scale it and move it to the up. And move to the Z rotation a little bit, just like this. Okay. Move to the up a little bit. You can see the white area, so I don't want this. I'm gonna move a little bit down. Don't select the factory layer, you can select the null layer and move it. I want just this factory 2 to move it, so I select the factory layer with null. You can tweak it just like this. So this is not gonna change the original position value for the factory. I only change it by using the null. This is gonna take a while. You can change your desired positions. Everything is up to you. Alright, this is how they blow up. I'm gonna move the null layer a little bit down and I'm gonna relink it to the factory layers. Select the position, keyframe it, and move it to the 8 second. Move to the up a little bit. It's too much. I'm gonna move it a little bit, just like this. And press F9 to easy ease. You can see the factory layer is still moving. I want just like this. I'm gonna extend the keyframe and move it just forward a little bit. So even the camera isn't moving, the factory layers are still moving. Drag it just like this around 10 seconds. Okay, I'm gonna press N. Move it just like this. Okay. I think it's cool. Now it's time to add another lightning effect on the hand. Select in point. And then output. Add it into the composition. Move it just like this. I'm gonna solo it and I'm gonna key it out the grain. Add a key light effect. I want to mess it out with a circle tool. I'm gonna key it out. I'm gonna decrease the opacity around 60%. I'm gonna switch this to 3D. I want the position just like the lightning strike first, so I'm gonna copy the lightning strike position and paste it into this layer. Move it just like this. I'm gonna scale it a little bit. Extend the duration. I want to animate the opacity 0 to 60 and 60 to 0. So I'm gonna copy and paste it. I'm gonna select the keyframe and select this time reverse keyframe. Let's duplicate it and move it a little bit and rotate it a little bit. Alright, I love it. Now what I'm gonna do is I want the factory layers and move it down below a little bit. And drag the keyframe just like this. So it's popping after the hand. They're not popping the same. It's time to place the factory layer under the test. I'm gonna change both layers color to yellow. Sorry, I'm gonna change the factory layer colors to red. The test layer is yellow. So I'm gonna move both test layer and the factory. Move it to the Z position just like this. Switch back to one view mode. Move to the app a little bit. Move it a little bit. It's okay. This is without the clouds. This is with the clouds. I'm going to decrease the value around 30. Now it's time to add the camera shake and grays. Let's add adjustment layer, 3 adjustment layer. One for vignette and one for camera shake and one for posterized time effect. Let's add a vignette, CC vignette, and I'm going to decrease the amount to 50. Change the angle of view to 30%. Let's add a camera shake. I'm going to add a transform effect. Add a transform and scale it to 102. Let's add a wiggle expression. I'm going to alter click onto position and I'm going to type posterized time 12% and wiggle to 12,6. So the camera is shaking just like this. I'm going to decrease the value around 8. Alright, this looks very cool. Let's add posterized time effect. The posterized time is decreasing the frame rate to your desired position. So I'm going to decrease this around 12. Now it's time to add a gray. Create a solid by Ctrl Y. Add a fraternize. I'm going to change the contrast around this. Let's invert it. Decrease the brightness. Rotate it a little bit. And I'm going to decrease the scale around 20. Let's decrease this a little bit. 1% is very good. I'm going to keyframe the evolution. This is a gray. Now it's time to switch to overlay. I'm going to decrease the opacity around 20%. Let's name it gray. I'm going to create a new solid layer. It is for another grain. You can search add grain. Select the viewing mode to final output and change the preset to Kodak Expression 500. Let's increase the amount. And I'm going to change it to overlay. Decrease the opacity value around 10%. Now this is the final result. Let's render it. I'm gonna export it to H2 zip file. You can render it by pressing Ctrl F. Select the destination folder. Render it. So this is the final result. I hope you learned something from this tutorial. See you in the next video.